The internet is full of confusing and disturbing unsolved mysteries. Some of these are related to real-life mysteries that have simply been exposed in online forums, while others are unknowns and unanswered questions straight from the internet itself. Number 5. Not far from Wales's Rainbow Bridge is a seemingly ordinary railway bridge that takes passengers over a dual carriageway. From the outside, there doesn't seem to be anything strange or unusual, but this was the setting of a weird mystery that captured the internet's imagination 10 years ago. The story started on Reddit's Let's Not Meet subreddit. User Nobility Scooter shared a story about an adventure he and a small group of friends had had a few years earlier that had quickly taken a dark route. Scooter lives on the coast of North Wales in a relatively quiet village. He goes on to explain that it's not so rural that someone this creepy could get away without ever being noticed. In fact, the community is relatively close, and the one homeless person they had in the community was well known by everyone, and hundreds of people showed up for his funeral when he passed away. There aren't a whole lot of activities for young people, so Scooter and his friends would often find themselves exploring places that they shouldn't, just to have something to do. This was how they came across a manhole cover beside a railway bridge. Scooter didn't actually specify where in Wales he was, but cross-referencing the photos and information he does give makes it easy to identify the bridge as one that's near Old Colwyn. The manhole cover seemed to be something to do with maintenance, as it was located next to an electricity box. But with nothing else to do, Scooter and his friends decided to find out what was inside. It took a number of tools to get it open, revealing a set of rings that led down into the bridge. The friends went down, following a passageway that forced them to crawl on their stomachs to get through. About halfway along the bridge, where it met a supporting pillar, they found a truly disturbing scene. There were a number of disgusting items scattered around the floor. A blue folding chair facing a wall, where there was a magazine page taped up. The page featured a model with her eyes carefully cut out. The friends decided that they didn't want to explore any longer and quickly made their way back out. After sharing the story, Scooter made 2 more visits to the bridge to provide updates. On the first visit, he didn't make it all the way to the end room, as his friends didn't want to go any further. But on the second occasion, he did. Things in the room had changed, and some of the items that had been there in Scooter's first visit were missing. He got a closer look at some of the magazine images that were scattered on the floor, revealing them to have been from the 70s. Human waste was also found in the room, and it seemed like someone had been living there at one point. Who and why remains a mystery. The obvious answer would be the homeless person Scooter mentioned in his first post, but given the tools needed to open the cover, this seems unlikely. Someone suggested whoever the room was for had probably used it in the 70s when the pictures were from, but that wouldn't explain why some of the items Scooter found in his first trip had been taken away. And it also wouldn't explain why someone would bother doing this somewhere so inaccessible in the first place. Nobility Scooter has since deleted their account after saying that they wouldn't go back, and the internet is left only with theories for this strange mystery. Number 4. The story of Tech 5 Daily Tips is a weird one, which is mostly solved, though there are still some mysteries and unanswered questions related to the case. It's also a mystery that hasn't gathered all that much attention. Early last year, an unidentified Reddit user took to the Internet Mysteries subreddit to ask about a strange website he had come across. The user's friend had recently passed away. A Facebook post shared to only close family and friends had given this information. For some reason, the user decided to search his friend's name and came across a few obituaries. Most had very little other than the date of his passing, but one struck him as odd. Tech 5 Daily Tips had posted a long piece about the user's friend. It was written in stilted English, with words that were technically correct in terms of their meaning, but not in terms of context. One line reads, quote, "Passing has reliably made a significant debacle and an immeasurable significant sensation of disaster." It suggests readers leave their name and address in the comments, as well as any so-called rewards. The site has thousands of such obituaries, and very little in the way of technology tips. Given the user's friend hadn't had an official obituary anywhere, he found the site very strange and wanted to know if anyone had any information. A few Reddit users began to investigate the site, but not much information could be found. It was apparently registered in Pakistan, though its IP address was linked to Kansas. In a location that has over 600 IP addresses attached to it, due to the inaccuracy of a company that maps IP addresses. Another user noticed that all the names on the Tech5 website could be found on another website with a name much more suitable for obituaries. This site, which we'll call DD, also had a Facebook page, and they theorized that DD had used this to access local obituaries and scrape them to post on the website. Tech5 had simply copied these posts, run them through a synonym generator, and posted them online. Why was another mystery. Since the original Reddit post, DD has gotten a little more attention, including from Marketing Brew. The site itself is riddled with advertisements and automatically redirects to other sites. It's theorized that the site uses obituaries to lure in the grieving friends and family, who are then targeted with ads and spam. Tech5 is a little harder to understand. There are no ads on the site, and it also doesn't automatically redirect anywhere. The Contact Us page does lead to another website, but one that doesn't seem to have anything to do with Tech5. Another still unanswered question is how DD got the information in the first place, as the original Facebook post had only been shared with close friends and family. It's definitely a strange, if mostly solved, internet mystery, with disturbing implications. Number 3. One of the weirdest internet rabbit holes concerns a subreddit dedicated to one small town in New Zealand. In some ways, the subreddit is like that of any other local group, with discussions about local events. There are posts about dog waste, store opening times, and scenic videos of train tracks. But this small town seems to have lots of secrets, making the subreddit a very strange and surreal place. The town itself has a history of paranormal activity, and strange lights in the sky. It's something that the residents seem to have fully embraced, and usually the apparitions don't seem to bother the users on the subreddit too much. But around certain times of the year, activity spikes, leading to some very chilling posts. Daylight savings time seems to be one of these times. There are warnings that a curfew is in place around this time. During curfew, windows and doors should remain shut, curtains closed and lights off. You should sleep or pretend to sleep, and don't answer the voices. Anyone who doesn't do this will be reconditioned. The voices seem to be connected to shadow people that have allegedly been seen and are said to resemble the voices of people you know. At the end of the curfew, there's a big celebration with a bonfire. Some of the strange posts also refer to a feeling of dread when trying to sleep and an urge to go outside. The Strange Subreddit caught national and international attention, which resulted in fans of conspiracies and the paranormal flooding the subreddit. Not only did this anger residents who were harassed with messages and phone calls, it also meant lots of fake accounts were created to try to make the town seem even more mysterious. Anybody trying to investigate now is faced with fake stories and tired residents. There are a few theories about what this could all be about. One is that it's an ARG or a strange inside joke. While some have said that it's been going on for too long for this to be the case, that's not necessarily true. After all, it's a long-running joke that Bielefeld, a town in Germany, doesn't exist. Another possibility is that everything in the original subreddit is true, or at least the residents think it is. One confirmed thing about this town is that the water there is extremely contaminated. Tap water is brown, and anyone who drinks it winds up sick. Why the tap water is so contaminated is the subject of a debate and conspiracy, with everything from factories to a nearby spy base being blamed. But if the water does make people sick, perhaps this could explain much of the paranormal activity and paranoia. Whatever the case, it's definitely one of the strangest things on the internet. Number 2. Anyone who has been on the internet long enough will have heard of Captain Coochie's key lime pies. Maybe you were browsing the web and came across one of the hundreds of comments recommending the dessert made between 2009 and 2016. Or maybe you were drawn in by the mystery as people tried to figure out who or what was creating these spam messages. The subject of the messages is Coochie's Key West Cafe, which once existed in Asheville, North Carolina, and was run by Oswald Pelez Jr., the titular Captain Coochie, and his wife, Anita. The comments began to appear in October of 2009 on recipe websites talking about the best key lime pie that could be found at the restaurant, and also praising the cheeseburgers there. Each post was unique, though did have the same general message, and usually there was something relevant in the article that the comment was on that connected the message. Then comments started to appear on different websites, ones that had nothing to do with cooking. News articles, social media sites, and even obituaries were all inundated with key lime pie messages. The posts were made by a number of different accounts, but there were a few reoccurring characters including Jake Carson, Willie Jordan, and Roger Ramjet. The different accounts all seemed to have a different style, but all the messages became weirder and longer as time went on. Eventually, whoever was behind the posts began to simply copy and paste about 5 of these long rambling posts, rather than making unique ones. The strange posting was discovered by Reddit in 2016. As users tried to figure out what was going on, the number of key lime pie posts became fewer and fewer. In one message, they were even mentioning that they were being watched, so they were aware of the attention the messages had finally gotten. The last posts from the original key lime pie posters seem to have been made in 2018, but it's now become a copy pasta, with lots of people copying the same message. Who was behind this is a mystery. The restaurant had closed years before the comments started to be made, so this wasn't someone trying to advertise the restaurant. The comments reacted to what was going on, both in the articles it commented on, and later to the Reddit attention, so it seems like the poster was a real person rather than a bot. One possibility is that this was someone researching search engine optimization, looking at what combination of phrases ranked higher in search results. It's another unsolved internet mystery that, unless someone comes forward as the mystery poster, is likely to never be solved. Number 1. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, internet mysteries is one that doesn't just lurk in one small corner of the web. It pops up all over the internet. Internet black holes are used to describe places where information goes in and doesn't come back out. Named after the mysterious phenomenon in the far reaches of space, we have far more questions than answers about internet black holes, and even understanding what they are can be tricky. In basic terms, information sent over the internet is sent in the form of packets. Usually, these packets are passed from the sender to the receiver without incident. But sometimes those packets just disappear. Why they vanish and where they go is currently unanswered. There are some understandable reasons why a piece of data may never be received. If a router is disconnected or offline, the information is dropped and no message is sent to the sender to say that's happened. But researchers have found cases where everything is online and connected, but packets of data have never made it to the computers on the other end of the line. A team from the University of Washington put together a map of these internet black holes in 2008. The site is now offline, but Snapchats from the first year of the study showed black holes that lasted longer than 24 hours all over the world, but concentrated in the United States, Europe, and the Middle East. The aim originally was to try to determine the cause of each black hole event, but it doesn't seem like that was achieved. Where the data goes is also a mystery. Conventional understanding of how the internet works says things cannot simply disappear. but that seems to be exactly what happened. One theory suggests nothing has disappeared but is instead being redirected somewhere else, and finding out where, why, and by who could answer this unsolved internet mystery. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our future uploads. But I've been Ty Knotts, and I'll catch you guys in the